Hello, it's great to see you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony. This show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Today, we are talking about very specific things that you can do to help your audio sound better. And I know I've been harping on this, and it's so important. Okay, because now with Academy Voices, we're hiring voice actors every single day for all sorts of projects, and I listen to a lot of audio. And the other people who are casting in Academy Voices listen to a lot of audio, and we talk about it every single day. There's so many challenges with people's audio that we hear, and it really puts us off. And it's interesting because I do wonder if a lot of it also has to do because we're voice actors. You know what I mean? And we've done this for years now and know what good audio should sound like and where people need, to work on it. So I want to talk about that with you today, and I think it should be very helpful. Another thing, make sure you check out the latest podcast episode I did with Gabrielle Nistico and Catherine Siggers on our new women's VO group, our sorority. Okay, we're calling it VOJO. It's really cool. VO Journey Outspoken Women. Absolutely love it. We're kicking that off January 1st, so very excited about that. And we have that video. It was posted Monday. It was podcasts. It's fantastic. They're absolutely great. Those two ladies are the ones who are running it in VO Journey. You can always go and check out our new soft launch for our new rebranding over at VOsJourney.com. So check that out. Of course, there's links below, but I'm really excited about it. And we're also going to be creating a fraternity for men. We are sticking to our collegiate background and growing the academy. We have such an amazing group over at VO Journey Academy. So we would love for you to join, and the perfect time would be, right as we're running some amazing specials for the new year. So be ready to join and be a part of that. So very excited there. Let's get back to the audio and the things that you need to do, the simple things that need to happen. And it's interesting because since I work with a lot of voice actors, it can be very challenging to work individually when you don't get to talk. So what I mean by that is, doing a video, doing a Zoom meeting or something like that. I listen to a lot of audio. I give feedback, written feedback, and I know it's taken well, and it's, people try to fix things, but I think that, in the end, it doesn't always seem to work as well, as when I meet with them. Okay, so that's one thing. So make sure whatever directions you're getting from someone, they're trying to, don't be afraid to ask extra questions if you don't understand what they're saying. The biggest thing that you could start first with is whatever acoustical treatment you have up, triple it. Quadruple it. I'm not being funny. I'm not being over dramatic about this. I'm being serious. Quadruple the treatment in your space. Okay? I'm going to say it again. We are not musicians, so we don't need any room tone. You'll hear there's some people out there that you listen to said, "Oh, you can treat too much." For us, that's not true. That's not true. We don't need that. Now in studios, you have to remember, in a professional studio, they're not just doing voice actors. They're doing musicians. They're doing a variety of other things. So their treatment, their setup is going to look different than us as single voice actors in our own space. Your space needs to be treated as much as you can. And you don't have to run out, go on Amazon, go to the store and buy all kinds of foam and everything. Use the things you have at home. Use pillows. Use blankets. Lots of blankets. I mean, before I ended up buying my Whisper Room, I had at least 6 to 8 layers of blankets, and not just draped over layers. I mean, folded layers. And I did them at different levels because here's another little tip. When you're sitting down, think about that. You're sitting down, and that means it's here, right? It's around you here, not up here and not down here, even though all that matters too. But the treatment around here really matters at your level. So when I had my hobo fort, which is what I call my packing blankets, PVC pipe, I had pipes, also PVC pipes around the midsection, right, to stabilize it, because I built like a 4x6. And I found that those pipes allowed me to drape over blankets on top of the blankets I already had draped over the entire booth. So I had some blankets draped over, thick blankets that were folded 3 times, then draped over that. Do you know what I mean? And that was extremely helpful, because in this particular space, right around me, the signs and everything, okay, that helped absorb a lot. Then in front of me, you know, the challenges we have usually, unless you have it mounted, which I did in my space because I learned a lesson, but not everybody can do that. So your computer's right in front of you. So that means the sides behind you, especially behind you and to the sides, are very important, because you're going to speak, it's going to bounce off your computer screen. Okay, but you've got, but even that, before you, I had clothes shoved in there. I had pillows, I had blankets, I had whatever I could. It was so full towards the end. Okay, that, yes, I will admit some of the PVC pipe was bending, but I could open the back behind me, because, well, when if I was sitting here, the door was actually, well, door, you know, the blanket was over here, so I would open it, because, you know, it'd get hot in there, but I could open it and it would still sound incredible because of how much treatment I had in there. And don't forget, I mean, I know we want our spaces to look nice, but when you're starting out, you know, the aesthetic value has no weight, you know, on how good you sound. So quadruple your treatment. Okay, quadruple your treatment. These things back here, these foam panels, they're okay, but I like them for show. and they do a little bit, but, you know, I don't record. I record in there. I don't record here. This is where I do my videos like this and talk. You know, but I keep the door open back there. This is more of a space that I do some editing, you know, and I record videos, but I don't record voiceover. I record in there, and in there I have at least 6 inches thick of rock wool. I have a nice thick flannel material that covers that, because I did not put up more drywall in the interior, because I didn't need to, because it's in the middle of the house. There's no noise. We're out in, you know, a rural area, so I don't have a lot of issues with noise, especially during the day, because no one's home. And on top of that, I have a heavy carpet in there. And then on top of that, I have at least 6-inch bass traps that go up the corners. It's very quiet in there, and it's very treated. But I learned my lesson, you know, from when I first started, and I only had one blanket. If you're in a closet and you've got one layer, or you got one layer of foam and a hard wall, that's not enough. You need at least quadruple the treatment. Okay, I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again to beat it down. Quadruple the treatment. Okay. The next thing is, we need to really perfect your mic positioning, how you speak, and understanding your particular microphone. Because there's so many different microphones, they have different polar patterns. They have, different addresses, whether it's top address like this one, or front address where it's right vertical. There's different types like XLR, right, which is what this is, and this is a dynamic microphone. There's condenser microphones. I like the dynamic microphone because for doing this, doing videos and so forth, because it limits how much extra noise it picks up outside of this area, whereas a condenser microphone, which is what most of us use for voiceover, it's, you know, supposed to be super, that's why we use phantom power. It's supposed to pick up more frequencies so that there's more clarity in our voice and it sounds, you know, more real. But that, you know, so again, knowing those mics, knowing your particular mic. Also, you might have a USB microphone. Knowing the limitations of your mic, meaning that no matter how much you do, some microphones are what they are. If you have a $40 microphone, that's fine. That's fine. But it's only going, I mean, you can't expect to be getting jobs often that are high level paying jobs with a $40 microphone. So don't beat yourself up when you're not getting those jobs. It's not your fault. I mean, it's not like, the reality is, I didn't get those jobs when I started with a $40 microphone, right? I've started with the blue snowball mic, that one that's round. Because I didn't know. It was $40 from Best Buy. And, it is what it is. I started there and it's fine. I upgraded when I could, but that's the whole point. Man, you need to be thinking, I need to upgrade when you can upgrade, but don't beat yourself up with your equipment. You have what you have. Okay, but the goal should be to upgrade that equipment to better equipment. Okay, and if you are in a position where you have some equipment and you're like, well, I'm not going to pay for any more until I make money. It's a hard. I'll be honest with you. I think for me, I was able to get 1 or 2 royalty jobs in voice and audiobooks before I upgraded to the Rode NT1. Well, at the time I upgraded to the Rode NT1A because they had that, special edition and it came with this and this and this. Later did I know the Rode NT1A did not mix very well with my voice. It was very bright and I was very sibilant with it. So I changed that out after a while as well, and I got the 416. Okay, the Sennheiser 416. It was quite a jump. Put it on a credit card, right? And I didn't tell anyone, or they would have killed me, like my wife, at the time. But that it was interesting. It changed again. Those moves, you don't think, oh, well, I'm just gonna make it happen with what I have. That's true to some extent, but you're only gonna be able to go as far as that particular piece of equipment can take you. And if it's a very amateur piece of equipment, it's going to produce amateur results. That doesn't mean you can't do some, right? Your space plays a massive role in that. Okay, it does. But again, you're going to want to at least get a Rode NT1, okay, or something to that equivalent. And we want to stay away from USB microphones. You have to upgrade yourself. I think one day, hopefully, well, it was interesting because the USB microphone space was growing quite significantly about 4 or 5 years ago. And then it's just kind of stayed around the same, because I thought then, it's going to be not too long before, USB microphones sound just as good as expensive. It just hasn't, it hasn't manifested itself yet. So, XLR mics is the way to go. Knowing where to position them, like getting back to that, is super important. Focus, train, join VO Journey Academy or wherever. Educate yourself on how to position yourself while you're speaking. Okay, understand how your mic sounds. This mic I have off to the side. Okay, but it's a dynamic microphone. I have a cloud lifter on the back of the microphone. You can't see because I pull it in. I don't want to mess up everything, but it has a cloud lifter, which allows me, because it's a dynamic microphone, to not have to boost my dB level so high, causing my interface to be louder, causing that backup noise or that background noise that you can't get out. That cloud lifter helps a great deal. So it gives me a way or you get to hear my voice a lot cleaner, a lot louder without my interface running so hot. Okay, that allows me to use the dynamic microphone really effectively, because I can then use phantom power, and it mitigates that power, that energy flow, right? That's what that cloud lifter does. So the point I'm trying to make to you is I understand that. I use it. It helps me sound better and helps me with this microphone to where I can just keep it here, off on a 45-degree angle. Okay, but when I record in my booth with my my Manly Silver microphone, my reference mic, I have that right in front of me. Okay, and that's a very, very expensive microphone. So I don't have that one off to the side because I found that one, the best is right there right in front of my face. You want to make sure not everybody can do that though. The reason why I can put that in front of my face too is because I mounted my screen up in my booth so that I can have it in front of my face and still see the screen. It's not like in front here, right, where the microphone, if I had the microphone in front of my face here, I couldn't see. So in there, I have it up. But wherever, you could have it hanging down from the ceiling. Make sure it's wherever the diaphragm and the microphone is, okay, that's the part that vibrates when it hears the sound of your voice, all right, and those vibrations, okay, is what creates the signal that records the voice, okay. That diaphragm, make sure it's pointing at your mouth, even if it's at an angle or whatever. It's got to be pointing at your mouth. Again, I see too many people with it down like this, with it up like this, with it like the mic. It's not pointing to them. And remember, this is I said before, this is a top address, so the top is where the pickup pattern is coming from. If it's a front address, this would be, like I said, vertical like this, and I would need to make sure that is pointing the diaphragm, right, which in those will be right here. You want to be pointing at your mouth. These are little things I know, but they are vital to getting great sound, because a lot of times if it's not like that, it'll be muffled like this. It'll just sound different. Here's another little thing. Make sure the microphone is pointing forward and it's not backwards. I know that might seem silly, but make sure. Like, if you can't figure out why it sounds muffled or why it sounds weird, that happens to a bunch of people. Make sure your microphone is facing forward. So these are things that really do help. And I found that after all of that, submit raw audio to for someone to listen to. Because a lot of times, especially when you were beginning, I noticed that a lot of edited audio from beginners is really rough. And the raw audio sounds 10 times better. Okay, because they don't quite worked out yet how to, less is more. Also, the order of the process matters. When you do what? When you do noise reduction and when you do EQ and compression, if you use and voice to or whatever, and what are you using plugins, the order matters. When I first started, I had the orders all mixed up. So if you are doing like something more than once, meaning that like if you're doing background noise cleanup more than once, you're doing it wrong. You should only ever be doing these things once. So that's the order is wrong then. And that will degrade. The more we do to the audio, the more we end up degrading it. It is what it is. Yes, there's definitely non-destructive things that we can do to the audio. And yes, depending on what program you're using and what DAW you're using, you can listen to these things and it's non-destructive. I get all that. But in the end, when we render files, we have to destruct some of it. Right? We're destructing different frequencies. We have to. So we want to make sure we're doing as little as possible to keep that clear and crisp noise or sound, excuse me. All right. I think I've kind of nailed that enough for today, but I just, this morning I thought, I was thinking about it, and on the morning, the coffee time, and I was like, I gotta just talk about it again, because again, over and over again, I was publishing more audiobooks yesterday. We're casting people listening to, and it's just like the audio is just, it's like never ending. And it could be because, I have my engineer hat on a lot more these days too, because we're publishing so much, and I'm the one who's doing the, the focusing on the engineering part and the publishing part. So I'm just in the audio up to my eyeballs every single day. And it's like, gosh, it's so, I can't tell you how incredibly relieved I am when that first couple of seconds are played and I hear the audio is crisp and clean and there's no, it doesn't sound like they're in a gymnasium or they're mixed right. It's like heaven, and it makes me want to keep hiring that person more and more because of that. So, anyways, I hope this helps. Again, watch this a couple times. Share. Check out VO Journey Academy. So it's at theVOsJourney.com. The links are below. And don't forget, our women's group is starting. And by the way, and a side note about that too, men and women, like for men, right, we have there's like for treatment and the way we mix our voices, it's different for women than it is for men. The basics, the sound basics are the same for everybody. But I've worked with a lot of men and a lot of women now, especially as a teacher to classes, as well as a lot of individual students, hundreds of mentor students to this point. And I can tell you that it's really different. Whereas, men have deeper voices typically, right? And so we need more treatment, thicker treatment to stop those voices. Women have higher frequencies. It's a different type. You don't need that thick bass treatment, okay? But we still need treatment to, stop those frequencies. But the lower frequencies, those booming frequencies, you don't have those with women. It's different, as well as mixing their voices are different. So that's very exciting too. That why we're putting this group together. All right, Vojo. I love the name Vojo. So our sorority is Vojo. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and please again hit that like and subscribe button, share this with someone, and check out VOsJourney.com as always. We'd love to have you, and watch for those specials. They're going to be incredible come January. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye bye.